GM Farcaster. It is Friday, July 12th, and you are here with Nana Schroff and Adrienne for 29 minutes of Farcaster news to start your day. And we both had some little technical difficulties right before we went live, which was so fun.
It's been a week.
It's been a week. You can tell it's a Friday. Yeah, so sorry about that slight delay, but happy Friday. And I am sporting a very fun background because I played in tabletop last night, and this is my winning screenshot. So played against JTGI, Miriam, and Kay Daniels, and yeah, I was victorious. But
Congratulations.
JTGI almost took me down. Came this close. I had to go steal the longest road back from him. So
what did you win?
The ability to brag about this on yeah. That's what I want. That's it.
Bragging, that's why we do this. That's why we do the show. You too could have a platform
to share your board game wins, your online board game wins. Yeah.
What game is that?
It was awesome. That's Settlers of Catan.
Okay.
So tabletop had a little get together last night. And you could play either Settlers of Catan or Dominion. So there were a few folks playing Dominion. I don't know if Lynx, I don't know if Lynx ever made it, but I know he and Matthew have a little Dominion rivalry. Matthew was there playing that, and Kristen was learning how to play. Yeah, we had fun though. It was a lot of fun. So thanks for that. That was a lot of fun. And you had a fun day yesterday also. You were in New York hanging out with this guy.
I was.
So, yeah. So this was from Adrienne. When you meet a MoshiCam founder for lunch, you obviously have to choose a MoshiCam border for the photo with Robin and NYC serendipity not pictured URL to IRL. So that was really cute. I love that picture. It's great. And this post was from Robin. Gossiped about who on Farcaster we think will get married next and how we can crash the wedding. Not pictured, serendipity. So, and then this went on a little bit more. I don't want to pressure anyone or anything, but you can't rush love, and marriage isn't for everyone. But I am literally dying to go to a Farcaster wedding. So please, people, can we make this happen? Brian G, when are we getting hitched? That was from Ted. So that's pretty funny. It went on and on. I believe you've offered to pay for the wedding. I mean,
only if Brian and Ted get married.
Only if it's Brian and Ted. Okay.
And I only offered $50,000, which honestly, if they get married, needs to be like 10% of the wedding budget.
I would agree.
Blowout.
I would agree. A full-on blowout. So funny. This was just so funny. So I'm glad you had fun. I loved this picture. And yes, my goal for this weekend is for us to get a GM Farcaster border. So it's still on my goals. I may eventually give in and just go Bounty. So by the end of the weekend, one of these things will happen.
So we'll have a border or a bounty. Good job calling it a border, by the way, because I keep calling them frames, and
I know it's confusing.
And it's confusing because of Farcaster frames. So we're going with border. If you've not downloaded MoshiCam, it's definitely worth checking out. The mints are super cheap. I think they're.
You can mint with warps for like 30 cents or something crazy like that. It's super cheap. And they're fun. They're just really fun.
It is fun.
So we like fun. We take fun seriously, right, Miriam? That was the tagline for last night. Moving on to less fun things, but still fun. From V, Warpcast is reviewing reports and labeling spam users. If you've reported someone and we take action on it, you'll get this notification. We're doing a one-time push to review a lot of older posts, older reports. So you may get these notifications for things reported 2 or 3 months ago. This was in response to Mike Rainbow saying, I got this notice saying you received your report about spam or something like that, but I don't think I ever reported anything. So you probably did it a while ago and didn't remember. So I did notice this as well. I had a couple notifications, and I was happy to see it. Okay, great. At least it hasn't gone into the void. They actually see them and have taken action. So that's great. So do report your spam. Spam. Moving on. This from Key Hub to validators is apples and oranges. Farcaster hubs, full nodes in a blockchain. Validating and reward paid to validators is agreed on a unified state. Blocks. Farcaster has no needs for blocks unified state because the ordering of transactions don't threat the integrity of the system. So this was in response, and I thought this was really helpful in response to a discussion about hubs and paying for storage and talking about hubs scaling. And this went on, there was a number of different sort of takeoffs from this one thread here of different discussions that were happening related to hubs and related to storage and the new storage limits that they're talking about. And there's some confusion about hubs where some people think of it like a validator on Ethereum, and it's not. And that was this discussion here. And if you want to learn more about how Farcaster works on the technical side, this is a good Notion doc to check out. So that was a lot. There was a lot.
And the validator conversation goes around to people are under the impression that they should be rewarded for running hubs. That running hubs should be a reward. And Dan is saying the reward is the star. You get a sticker. You just feel good. You feel good because you're a nerd and you want to run it as a hobby, or you need local close access because you have an app that you're building and you want to do it for that. And that's the reason. I just changed my background. You went back to that. I came in the show. I had a nice sunset overlooking the bay as my background, which was nice Friday vibes. And I just changed it back to Dan's cast.
Yeah, Dan's cast about running a hub. There is zero economic reward. There won't currently or in the future. Friendly reminder.
Stop. You're not getting paid.
And once again, warps have no value, no intrinsic value, and also Farcaster requires proof of work, all the things. So
and cast and channels,
if you
and be interesting,
and if you could, please be interesting, because there's not enough interesting content. So we're trying, Dan. I swear, every time he says that, I'm like, we're right here. Anyway. Speaking of, also, in case you didn't know, is Farcaster dying? Dan says no. So actually he says, seems like it, while pointing to this article. Farcaster hits record high in user engagement with over 73,000 unique casters. So, interesting. So it feels at times, I've seen more than one person comment that it does feel a little quiet. I really was relating that mostly to when I'm at a conference, I'm not casting as much. A lot of people are at Ethcc. A lot of people were on vacation last week. And that's what that feels like to me right now. It didn't feel like major shift in engagement, but I did feel that like a little bit of people just not being around.
Yeah,
but
it was
what's your take?
Grass week, people. Everyone. Onchain Summer, touch grass.
They literally took the week off. Even Base took the week off last week. I forgot about that. And they literally said, go touch grass, and we're going to pay you to touch grass. So there you go.
I actually don't know, Brian, if people have been saying Farcaster feels like it's dying. I haven't felt it. Or if
I've seen a few
Brian
people
just uses Supercast to recast that every 3 months because it's funny.
He could be doing that as well. No, I saw Cameron mention it. I've seen a few people mention it, that it felt quiet. And I really take it as like people are just, we're off touching grass and things like that. So, or at conferences. So there's been a lot of things going on. Speaking of base, submit what you're building. This is Onchain Summer is for everyone, and we want to showcase what you've built. Submit your projects to the Onchain Summer registry. And I do need to go do this. I had submitted to the hackathon. Something got messed up with mine for cast outs. I think that might be getting fixed, but even not, I need to submit it to this registry as well. And we need to put the writing hackathon in there as well. So if you build something on base, make sure you submit it here. Did you submit the writing hackathon to the registry yet?
Registry.
Okay. We need to get that done.
Buildathon, and I just think people have been voting, quadratic voting, and I've got a few little votes for it. So I just appreciate that all.
Yeah, it was a really cool thing. So I'm glad to see it getting some recognition. In other news, this has been the big conversation. Degen changed the way that tips are allocated. So you had to, we talked about this the other day. You had to lock up a certain amount and you would get a part of the tip allocation. So this was from Yasik. The community has locked up over $2 million worth of Degen in the vault. We're stoked to see everyone hyped for season 6 and thrilled to bring back tipping to the community. Let's make this season epic. So there's been some controversy around this, as you know, there always is with change. One issue that I do have is that your tipping there's a moving goalpost. So yesterday when I looked, okay, here's the number I need to lock up to get the maximum allocation. And today that has moved up. So now I don't have the maximum allocation and it bothers me. I have slightly less.
Because it's a percent. The more the more people lock up, the fewer your pre-existing lock-in represents, and the smaller your tips become.
Exactly. So I have to now go lock up some more because I'm like, just tell me what the number is and I'll lock it up. I don't care.
And you cannot unlock.
And you can't unlock for 3 months.
3 months.
I believe it is. Yes.
Yeah.
So that is part of the controversy of people trying to decide, should they lock this up for 3 months just to get a tip allocation? This was Alina Ferry's take on this. High stakers, everyone else, please, sir, can I have some tips? Kind of accurate. And then
so I wonder if there's a way. I know the answer is no, but I'm just going to say this because maybe we can manifest it. I guess I could give someone, like, I would love to lock up and allocate my tips to someone else to distribute.
Ooh, that's interesting. So you want to delegate your tips?
Yeah, I want to delegate tips.
That's an interesting concept. I think that would be great. I think that would be really cool too, because you could even give it to an organization of sorts who could, like I'm thinking like a DAO or something.
Farcaster.
Yeah. And yeah, sure. Exactly. Yeah. It could be something along those lines. And that's where the tips get allocated. So that's interesting. And it's so some folks are a little upset about this. And this was one of the comments. This is from Ice Toad. Unfortunately, this season gives priority to whales, aka crypto rich. People with less money to lock up shouldn't be at a disadvantage. And then there was a conversation here. And I think that Yester Crypto made a great point here. Not sure I understand. Everyone can still receive tips. It's only the ability to tip others that's limited. And then they said, it kind of went on from there. Where yes, well, I agree this is true. The bigger allowance someone has, the more tips they're likely to receive. But you make a very fair point. And he went on to talk about that there's a whole bunch of us who tip way more out than we receive. Mine is like, I probably tip out, I haven't looked to see what the numbers are, but it's at least double, probably triple or quadruple what I actually receive in tips. So it's not necessarily true. There's a lot of people who get a lot more tips than me who don't have nearly the same allocation. So what we're doing is sort of like this service of, yes, we have a little bit of power in where our tips go, but most of the people who have those large allotments that I've seen have, pretty responsible tippers, I guess I would say. But what are your thoughts on this? Any thoughts on?
Let's go back, if you remember where I started from in January when I'm like, why Degen?
Yeah.
So take everything. So I don't even want to speak with any sort of authority. I'll just tell you my personal kind of
Okay.
experience, which is I have a large, or in this past season, I had a very large tip allowance and I wasn't using it.
Yeah.
I just don't use it because it's not something I think about. And if it was easier to, and then only in the past like few weeks or so, I started realizing like I should probably offload these tips. Like I have them. So I did start sending them out, but I had like a 17,000 allowance.
Yeah.
And I'm not getting a ton of tips back. And I think that's because, I'm probably not in a very degen heavy community.
Yeah. I
where
think
that becomes the
that,
norm.
yeah, there's some, folks who do that tip for tip kind of stuff. Most of the folks that I see who are sort of at that high tipping allocation don't do that. And they may not even tip at all. So you're right. I think for the lockup for me, I have no intention of spending or to doing anything with most of my degen. Like most of that is a long-term lockup. I pretend it's not even there. So for me, locking that up is like nothing. Like it's literally I had 9 million sitting in a safe for how long that I couldn't even access.
That's right.
For like 4 months.
Yeah.
So this is nothing new to me. But I can see why people from the outset, it looks unfair. But I think what it's doing is rewarding the folks who have a long-term, faith, and they're just supporting the project. So I don't know. We'll see how it all unfolds.
And I'm not even sure I have a long-term faith necessarily, but I'm also not looking to I'm holding.
Faith is probably strong. Yeah, faith is probably strong.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not looking to offload it anytime soon, I guess.
And people can still lock up. Is
Yes.
is it at any given point? That's a moving. It just
Yep.
You can lock up and so the
And
amount.
I guess if you lock up
changes.
more, it restarts the clock or something like that. So that's the only thing. But if that's not a concern for you, yes, you can lock up more. Because I need to go and lock up more right after this because I want my max. I want the max.
Just turn it into a faucet. Change
Yeah.
it from we'll have a daily drip. Keep locking up more.
Yeah.
I did not lock up for the same reason I don't tip, which is friction.
Yeah.
I'm busy people. But I think I probably will. There's I have a long list of things to do, and maybe going
I have a lot of
lockups
little
and degen is on that list.
Little cleanups of all kinds of things that I still have to get done, including our Hypersub. I need to upgrade our Hypersub, all kinds of fun things. Okay, moving on. This was really a great take on Ethcc, I think. So this was from MJC. Nice meeting. Ethcc notes. Nice meeting internet friends. Panels were boring. A few workshops and individual talks were decent. Non-FC people are genuinely intrigued by FC, but mostly in a detached, curious way, not a I need to get on that kind of way. I thought that was an interesting point. I'll circle back to that in a minute. Not unique to Ethcc, but everyone loves talking about how many meetings they have. That was funny. Brussels walkability pleasant and saved me the usual conference Uber bill. Saw a mugging, heard about several others. I'm going to circle back to that. Infra, energy state, DeFi, and NFT energy on life support. Green shoots consumer energy, but still too small to register. Hardly an original point, but the sheer number of chains is dizzying. Personally, I find myself enjoying the events, talks where crypto tries to cross the chasm into culture more than the hard tech events talks. So that's interesting. So a couple interesting points here. I heard a lot about muggings and robberies, and I don't recall that hitting my feed as much for any other conference. So I don't know what was going on there, but I did say, what is going on in Brussels? I've seen this a few times, and Kukusha said it's just overblown and people are being a little dramatic. But I think the fact that I've seen so many mentions of it, it was a little concerning. A little bit concerning. So I've seen a couple people mention either muggings or having things stolen from their hotel room. And yeah, so that was kind of weird.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Not great.
Not great.
Don't go. Don't walk alone.
Don't walk alone, all those kind of things. So up here, though, I liked the non-FC people are genuinely intrigued by FC, but mostly in a detached, curious way, not a I need to get on that kind of way. So that's a little concerning. You'd like to see people be a little bit more driven to take action, but at least they're curious. So we'll take that, I guess.
That's because we're really bad at like hype.
Yeah.
We don't people on Farcaster, we're not out
You're
here
right.
like
Yeah.
telling everyone like we're not hyping Farcaster everywhere else. And
That's true.
but
I think that's a good point.
Dan's doing marketing. I don't know if you saw that. Dan's hiring a CMO.
I don't think so.
No, he is. Did you see? He asked it yesterday, and he said, "If I
Did he-
going
did
to
he
do
give in?
marketing, like what would you market and to who?"
I did see that. Yeah,
So
I
when
forgot
he
to
said
grab
this
that
in
one.
the past, but you don't realize this is actually a job interview. It is an open call for you to send your business plan.
In other words, if you have a really good idea, this is the time to say it. Otherwise, he's not hiring a CMO.
Exactly. He's just like testing the waters. Like,
He is.
oh, maybe
He
I need
is.
to market.
Like maybe if somebody gives him a really good idea, he might run with it. I did see that and I forgot to grab it. I did love this pick. The best star of the day with base builders, cozy breakfast at Ethcc. Whoops. Well, that's loading slowly. Lovely photo of the crew with Oxbid here for a base builders cozy breakfast. And we discussed all things base and are super bullish on what the team is preparing for base camp. Any clues? We are also curious about base camp. So looking forward to seeing what's going on. So we'll see some of you there. And I love this picture. I love seeing the pictures of, Farcasters in the wild meeting up together. It's always one of my favorite things to see from conferences. This from Linda. Any boost on this would be appreciated. We want to avoid taking a cut from Bountycaster bounty earners so they can keep 100% of it. We'd rather monetize through users posting to certain categories like jobs, exactly how Craigslist does it. So this was yesterday. Now anyone can post a job on our Bountycaster jobs page. A fee is $75 to post a job. So if you are hiring, great place to post. Honestly, you'll probably get a lot of really good quality candidates if it's related to Web3. And really cool to see Linda thinking about how to approach revenue generation in a way that doesn't extract or take away from the bounties. So I love that she's doing this thinking. Fantastic to see. Moving on. I did love this. Thank you, Just Build. We keep when people say nice things about us, we have a little place in our Discord called Catimonials.
Don't tell people this.
I'm telling them the secret. And every once in a while we need to make ourselves feel better. We just go look in that channel. But just kidding.
If you compliment us, we hoard your casts is what Prof is saying.
Yes, we hoard them. If you say nice things, we keep them forever.
Our is so low that we have a booklet of every nice thing anyone has ever said.
That's what I'm saying. What was funny though is I grabbed this to go put it in Catimonials and it was already there. You had grabbed it already. So that was this was nice to see. This was super fun. There's a special joy in watching smart, interesting people geek out on something you care about and letting their Farcaster freak flags fly so proudly. So that was the part I just wanted to read because I thought that was the first time I'd heard it put in that manner and I kind of loved it. So for those flying,
can I just
flying
say
the freak flag, the Farcaster freak flag, welcome to the show.
Yes. And can I just say about this testimonial in particular, and we're building GM Farcaster Network in public, as you all know, and we are kind of actively seeking revenue and sponsors and trying to figure out how to make GM Farcaster a sustaining business so that we can keep doing what we love forever and ever. It would be great. It would be like a lot easier if we had audience of millions and views in the tens of thousands and not our niche audience that we have. But pull up the cast again so I can read it. Can we, what Just Build said, which is interesting people geeking out on something we care about and letting Farcaster freak flags fly. Honestly, if that's all we ever do, like that's all I want to do and it's all I want to build. And if the audience stays really small, but that's who it is, it's just the Farcaster freaks and proudly, I mean, then I can die happy.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I love our niche audience. It's so funny because so I spent last week back home and meeting with friends and family and trying to explain what the heck I'm doing right now. And it's impossible, but I love that we have this niche audience and it's so much fun and I wouldn't change it for a thing. Like I'm not looking to reach the masses. I don't need, we'll have 1 million viewers when, Farcaster has 100 million users. So daily users and so, we're fine.
It's probably not this year.
We're fine going like this. Yeah. Yeah, not this year. But that's okay. But I just loved the Farcaster freak
I've had several people in my corporate network, which is my former life before Farcaster.
Back in the day.
And have asked me what I've been up to, and I've pointed them to the show. And very few of them are crypto native. Very few of them have ever heard of Farcaster, but they'll jump on the show. And a few people have pinged me to say, like, I have no idea what you're talking about, but you seem really energized, and I'm really happy for you.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and that was like, that's what that's exactly what I heard as well. So that's really funny that you say that. And I do want to show.
And yeah, you can call me corporate Adrienne or or I like this one, Tradad.
So I'm just flipping through to see if there's anything absolutely had to. Oh yes, we got to talk about this, and then I want to show the new Bitwise commercial. But if you have not seen this yet, we have a new frame that came out from Unlonely, and you can subscribe to any channel, any Unlonely channel via a frame now, and it will give you a notification when you go live. So you can subscribe to GM Farcaster Network's channel to get notified whenever we go live. It won't tell you what show is going live, so you will have to kind of know what's going on. But for example, it gave that notification when we went live with Vibe Check as well as GM Farcaster. So you can subscribe there. It is in our pinned, I was going to say tweet, cast right now in GM Farcaster. Just pick up that frame and subscribe and get a little notification. And I do want to show the Bitwise commercial because it is so good. I have to only share the tab, so that's what I'm looking for right now. It's so good. So we have to share this, and you'll see why. Hold on. Go over here. And sharing videos is not the easiest thing when you're sharing from Farcaster. So hold on.
No volume? We're not getting volume, I don't think.
Oh, for God's sakes.
We apologize. Our offstage producer took the day off.
Yeah, you know how they do. Hold on, let me try one more time. I knew I was going to screw this up. Oh, yeah, it says share volume. That's weird. I don't know why it's not doing it. It should be. That is strange. I'll try one more time, but maybe it's just not working. Oh, I know why. Okay, hold on. Sorry. Never mind. We'll do it another time. But it's a fun. The Bitwise commercials have been so good. I think they're just giving a great take on all the things that we do here in this space, and in just such a funny way. So I love that they're kind of bringing that to the masses. And let me try it in one other way. It's weird. StreamYard has this weird thing about showing videos. So apologies.
Let me
try it one more time.
Is it when you do the full frame? Is it like the shared? Because you show the when we do our opening and closing credits.
Yeah, that's different. That's different though. Here we go.
Sorry.
Keep all their things when you leave an app. Hello, I'm Ethereum.
And I'm Big Tech.
Oh, losing a user?
We are really going to miss you, but that stays too. I like to make sure that they don't take anything with them.
So her posts or photos or followers?
Yeah, they all stay here for safekeeping. keeping.
And with me, users can keep all their things when they leave an app.
Yeah, but then you have nothing to remember them by. Issue already?
You play guitar?
No. Why would I do that?
So that one felt to me like very much a hit on all the other platforms, the trad social
So-
platforms and all of that. Oh, now you couldn't see it. You could hear it, but
I-
you couldn't see it. I can't.
I thought
give
maybe
up.
it was just me. I was asking the unlonely chat what they. So we heard
give up.
volume but couldn't see the video.
Oh my God. Okay, I give up. But go take a look at it. It's on Noun 40's page on Warpcast. So you can go check that out. And it'll be in our show notes. Sorry about that. I know you can only taste the video. You can hear it. You can't see it. Now you can taste it. You can smell it. Can you smell it? Could you smell it? Anyway, with that, sorry for all the tech issues. I don't know what was going on with that. It should have worked on the last one. That was very weird. So you either get video or sound. You can't have both today. Sorry. It's just like that meme. You know, we have Bitwise video at home. The video at home. You can only hear it. Anyway, all right. With that, everybody, we will be back. Oh, wait a minute. Am I back without you on Monday? I think I'm back.
You are
without
back
you on
without me.
Monday.
Do you know who our guest host is? I
I'm
don't know
keeping it
who's replacing
secret.
me.
I will let you know soon. I forgot that that I do have. We're gonna have some co-hosts next week. Adrienne's doing some travel, so for the rest of like the next few weeks, we're gonna have some. Definitely have a few co-hosts coming in, and I will let you know who that is. I forgot to ask somebody. I had somebody in mind, but I haven't asked them yet. So more to be tune in to find out who will be co-hosting with me on Monday. And with that, we shall see you sometime next week, Monday at 8:30 a.m. We're going to replay this show at 11:30, by the way, and we're going to continue to do that so that the West Coasters can jump in and chat as well. So with that, we will happy Friday, and we will see you next week. And
Can I ask an etiquette
bye-bye.
question?
Go ahead.
So on
As I'm about to close the show.
I have, you can answer this and then I'm curious. So I'm going to be traveling a lot. So we're bringing a lot of guests. When I'm traveling, should I pretend I'm so busy or should I just cast all my travel pictures and be really obnoxious and loud on the feed? And
cast all your travel pictures. Yes.
And make it seem like I really could dial into the show and I'm just being lazy and not. I just want to know if I should pretend I'm too busy to dial in or
no, you should definitely cast all the things you're doing.
Okay.
And it's very difficult to dial in on vacation. It is very challenging. So I understand. It's all good. Okay. Anything else? I should have said anything else. That was my problem. I didn't say anything else.
When you say anything else, I never have anything else. Just so you know. It doesn't work that way.
I know. And with that, we will see you. Bye-bye.